Well, good morning, everybody. Ken Johnson here with you, and I'm taking a look at the overnight weather data here with you this morning. And this satellite was from overnight as well, just some high clouds overnight pushing on through. But if we take a trip out west, the piece of energy that we're watching that's going to eventually carve out our storm system is currently, kind of dropping through the west coast of the United States. The atmosphere is stretched out like this now, and this is the piece of energy that's going to round the base here, and then later today into tonight is going to actually expand the upper level disturbance itself and kind of park itself down here in Mexico and the southwestern part of the United States and down towards Baja California. It's going to be a big, big system, and it's going to sit there for a little while and wait for another piece of energy dropping out of Canada to catch up with it and begin to push it off to the east. And as it does so, this energy is going to transfer down to the Earth's surface, and we're going to wind up seeing a pretty significant storm system develop across deep South Texas, and it's going to track right across the northwestern Gulf of Mexico and then head over into Louisiana and Mississippi. Northwest of the track, there's going to be a pretty large area of precipitation, and where the air is cold enough, looks like there could be some ice, maybe central and eastern parts of Texas, freezing rain and some sleet down this way. Further west and north you go, pretty widespread snow across a good part of Oklahoma and down into North Texas here. But I will say that there's going to be a fairly sharp cutoff between areas to the west that don't see a lot of snow with this system and areas to the east that could get clobbered with this system. And we'll probably see this snow area extend down to the south. I just didn't draw it on this particular map here. So also on the northwest side of the storm, as we get into Thursday and afternoon, maybe evening, and the storm begins to kind of ramp up a bit, we're going to see a band of some heavy snow develop. And in this band of heavy snow, don't be surprised if there may be even a rumble or two of thunder down this way. Maybe places like Stephenville over to Dallas, Fort Worth, up towards Sherman, Denison, then over into the southeastern parts of Oklahoma here, and then eventually that heads over into Arkansas. So the wide area, there's some question marks still, but there'll be some light to moderate snows, maybe a band or two of some heavier snow from time to time. But it's down in here, this gray area, where we should see, or at least it looks like right now, we could see a band of very heavy snow that could develop, and it could last for quite a little while down here. So again, with my confidence level, I'm going to keep it at 8. There's, maybe a couple of questions, and the main question mark is exactly where does that band of heaviest snow set up at? We should know later today. I think we'll have a good idea later today. But with any weather system, not just this one, there's always room for changes, and especially with a winter weather event, there's always room for adjustments and changes right up to and during the event, so you have to kind of keep an eye on it. So as of right now, what we know, there is a storm that's going to impact the region. The track is favorable for winter weather across especially central, north central, and northeast Texas here, and then over into the deep south as well, perhaps maybe. We know there will be some heavy snow with this. Question is, exactly where does that line up at? I'm pretty confident, though, that could be just to the southeast there of Wichita Falls. I'll get to that in a moment here. Starts late on Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, and it ends probably Thursday night or early on Friday. And again, my confidence level, right about at 8. So we're going to start by looking at the European computer model. Then we're going to look at an in-house higher resolution model, and that'll kind of show you what we're looking at here, and we'll get to that in a moment. So this was earlier runs of the European model, and it shows the system producing widespread precipitation here as we get into Thursday morning, and you can see the snow breaking out. Initially, this would probably be light, but as we get into the afternoon, some bands of heavy snow would likely develop down here closer to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe back towards Abilene, maybe into parts of northwest Texas, too, and over into south central, southeastern parts of Oklahoma. Further west you go, the lighter the snow amounts will be. Now, the European kept heavy snow going into Thursday night and into early on Friday morning, but some of the overnight data is speeding this up just a bit. Now let's take a look at some of the first high-resolution data we're getting with this system. High-resolution model data is designed to look at a shorter term. It takes a lot of other variables. It's able to take a closer look at things. And this is one of our in-house. It's called the graph computer model. I'm not a big fan of it in most cases, but sometimes it'll get things right. Sometimes it'll trend in those directions, but I want to show you because it's the first look we have at it here. So again, this is high resolution data going into early on Wednesday here. There we are, not a whole lot going on Wednesday, not expecting much, but so maybe starting late Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, we might begin to see the first signs of some little waves of some snow flurries trying to come in. And then here's the initial surge of moisture early on Thursday morning coming in from the southwest with perhaps maybe a band of snow here developing. And this could be a decently heavy or moderately heavy band of snow from Duncan to about Bowie, Texas, over to about, Wichita Falls, down to about Graham, again, early on Thursday morning. And there could be some fast accumulations with that. And you can see it kind of expand a bit into early Thursday. And it kind of continues through the morning and into the early afternoon. What I want you to notice, though, take note in. Notice how this area down here to the northwest and over Dallas, Fort Worth, these areas, how that expands. That's the main storm system itself, and this is that band of heavy snow that's likely going to develop here. And as I was saying earlier, heavy snow here, you jump on the other side, it gets lighter the further west you go. In some places out west, places like Childress, Texas, Vernon, Texas, maybe up into western parts of Oklahoma, you may not see much snow out of this system at all. You can see these waves of heavy snow or bands of snow continue, but one thing the high-resolution data is doing, it's cutting things off quickly from the west, and it just concentrates these bands of heavy snow over closer to Dallas, and that continues into Thursday evening before it finally pushes it off to the east. So those solutions are a lot faster than a lot of the other weather information we've been looking at here. I probably would favor, in most instances, a slower solution, but the way things are kind of lining up, especially with this little secondary piece of energy diving in from Canada, this thing could shut off and shift to the east pretty fast, and there could be a pretty significant winter storm over in Arkansas and Tennessee and North Mississippi Thursday night and into Friday. Now, as far as snowfall amounts go, again, you just looking at these numbers, these are raw model output numbers here. It does hit Dallas pretty heavy with 10-plus inches of snow over into this area. I'm not saying that much snow will fall, but I wouldn't be surprised to see, better than 5 or 6 inches in the Metroplex and end up in the southeastern parts of Oklahoma, northeast Texas. And once again, the heaviest snow bands, unfortunately for those of us that live in Wichita Falls, probably, unless you're not a snow fan, probably going to be just southeast of us. I'm not ready to throw an official number on us yet, but just thinking out loud, I'm thinking somewhere maybe close to 1, maybe 2 inches. That might be it. But, of course, if things shift back to the west again, we may have to update that as well. I'll update that later on today. So that one, again, would be Thursday and into Thursday night here, winding up on Friday. So areas that see these bands of heavy snow here on Thursday, the heavier the bands, the longer they last, the more is going to accumulate there. Slushy stuff, maybe some powder on the road there. We're going to go low to moderate impacts across northwest Texas. Eastern parts, I'm talking about east of Wichita Falls over into Montague County, those areas, you could wind up with some moderate to maybe higher impacts over that way. And certainly down towards Dallas, we'd probably go high here. Power outages, especially in the Metroplex, there could be some. When you get these heavy wet snows, they can cause the tree limbs to get heavy and break. So there could be some power outages, especially over there in north central, northeast Texas. Not an ice storm situation. This is a snow. As far as business school delays and cancellations, I wouldn't be surprised to see those over a good part of the area. You know how it happens. People just go with this hysteria and they just start canceling left and right. So we're going to go low to moderate. Again, eastern counties maybe a little bit more than that. I'll have another update later on today on my social media channels, also on News Channel 6, First Alert 6 weather app. Make sure you have all of that downloaded there so you can get these updates as we get closer to what I've been calling a Texas-sized winter storm.